Hello, everybody. My name is Logan Dane, and welcome to my piece of the world. Today, I have a brief story to share with you. It is a story about the beautiful state of California, its oh so wonderful governor, and the largest corporate homicide in U.S. history. And it didn't even happen all that long ago. In fact, from when I'm recording this, it happened back in only 2018. And it happened less than a year and a half from when a certain virus spread itself around the world. I'd also be willing to bet that many of you probably haven't even heard of this story. And if you haven't, you may ask yourself why you haven't. I'd bet money that if this happened in another state, you would never hear the end of it. But it happened in California. So, story time. In California, there exists a company called PG&E, that is the Pacific Gas and Electric Company. PG&E provides power to the humble citizens of California. Now, PG&E acts effectively as a monopoly in California. Unlike internet service providers or your phone carrier, where you can switch, get better reliability, better service, you don't get that for power for many of the citizens in California. You are stuck with it. That means you either get your power from PG&E or you don't get it at all. Now, California depends on PG&E a lot. And this is largely because California mismanages its energy so well. California is probably one of the worst states when it comes to energy management. California has not built any new hydroelectric dams, despite, constantly being in a drought. California has shut down most of its power plants, and it's actually looking to continue to shut down its last power plant. And they think that building a bunch of fans everywhere is going to supply the power that they need. California is so bad when it comes to energy management that it actually imports, about 25% of its electricity from out of state. It is the highest importer of electricity in the nation. The runner-up is relatively half of what California imports. So you can roughly understand how much California depends on PG&E. They would very much not like it if it just disappeared. Now, back in the far distant year of 2018, PG&E had a little oopsie. PG&E accidentally set an entire town on fire. The town of Paradise was just wiped from the map. Paradise lost. 84 people died in the subsequent fires, burned alive in their houses, and PG&E faced 84 counts of manslaughter in what would be the deadliest U.S. fire in over a century. Now, PG&E is facing manslaughter charges. How do you punish a corporation? You can't punish a corporation the same way as you would punish a person. Let's say you had an officer who shot a person when they thought they were going to tase him. Manslaughter charge, right? Goes to jail. You can't put a corporation in jail. You can't really put anyone in the corporation in jail. So how do you punish a corporation? You fine them. So California fines PG&E. It should also be of note that the fine for this multi-million-dollar corporation was a mere $3.4 million. Funny enough, the fines for starting the fire cost the company more, but don't worry, they were waived. And here's the kicker. PG&E just declares bankruptcy. What's the state going to do? How's the state going to punish me? The state needs PG&E. It needs them to keep going. So what's the punishment going to be? How do you punish someone that you're extremely dependent on? And the truth is, you don't. And Newsom and many of California's elected leaders had put them in the position where they can't, largely because it has mismanaged its energy so much. What's worse is PG&E actually continues to do these things. Just last year, PG&E had 11 felonies and killed 4 people in another fire. The DA stating it had failed to perform its legal duties and that the failure was reckless and criminally negligent and resulted in the death of 4 people. So PG&E just continues to do this. California doesn't care. In fact, California cares so little, and Newsom cares so little, that he has hired PG&E's former lawyers to write the bailout law for them. Just the cherry on top. So Newsom hires the lawyers, the former lawyers of PG. They don't currently work for PG&E, but they were on the books about 5 months before that 2018 fire, so kind of recent. But yeah, Newsom hires them to protect their profits because, once again, California needs PG&E. Is it legal? Yes. Is it moral? The survivors of paradise sure as hell don't think so. This is a form of soft corruption which just permeates much of politics. When Newsom and his staff were asked about this, and they were asked multiple times, they either ignored or just said no. So they're making no statements. They don't really care. So keep in mind, if you come into California, that's your governor, and if he's running for president, which you know who you're voting for. It's poorly managed, it's poorly planned, and when it comes down to it, he will choose corporations over you. So the town of Paradise is not happy. One of the councilmen said it was blatant corruption. My favorite description of it was, it's almost like the bank robbers union designing the bank safes. So Newsom has contracted PG&E's former lawyers to help write the bailout law to protect PG&E's profits. And meanwhile, PG&E continues to get away with manslaughter charges. And I say get away, like they're not punished. It's just defined. The state actually can put a dollar amount on your life. Fun fact. And happy ending for everyone, right? That's it. That's what's happening in California. So, now you know a little bit. I am going to include in the description a link to one of the articles that I particularly liked. Just a warning, it is some of the townspeople of the city of Paradise, or the town of Paradise, talking about how their family members were cremated in their own houses and how they felt helpless knowing that they were burning to death. So, just to follow up, just so you know, I'm not just making up the story. It's not great. But, yeah, I hope you have a good day wherever you are still. Take care.